Here we go. Welcome to Bllackkoutt TV. We are here with Ms Anita Brower. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Ah, we're excited about interviewing you. That's what we are.
I'm excited for the interview.
Hey, we've been looking at that footage and that them candy apples is looking mighty good. They looking
Thank you.
good. Now let's jump right into it. So Miss Anita, at what point in your life did you know that you had this ability to start creating stuff?
I started this way back in high school,
Really?
and yes, when I was like 17.
Oh,
But I
okay.
set it to the side to do other things. Then, I don't want to say so much when this pandemic hit because I was doing it way before,
Hmm.
it wasn't making me happy, so I stopped. You can't do nothing if you ain't happy.
That's true.
So when it showed its head again for something different, and it was something that was going to challenge my mind,
Hmm.
it was open season. So about 3 weeks or so ago, no, back in January, I got hit with a cake. And at first I didn't want to do it because cake wasn't making me happy no more. But then when the girl said what she said, I took it and ran with it from there. And I came up with my own all chocolate everything. And it's
Is
been
that the
on
is that
rolling.
is that the cake with with the Oreo cookies on the top of it or something?
No, the cake I'm talking about was the very first one. It got money attached to the liquor bottle. It's a bottle
Wow.
of Jameson's. The cake is chocolate. Everything on it is chocolate.
Wow.
So I called it all chocolate everything.
I'm you gotta excuse me. You said chocolate everything and I ain't ate breakfast. My mouth water and I you um
It just how your mouth is watering. Every time I see the cake, I just want a piece. But I can't get a piece. I'm gonna get one of these days though.
Okay, so you say you started this back when you were 17, 17, 18. Like what was you creating back then?
I was in high school. Believe it or not, I graduated from commercial bake shop. Not like everybody else. I was just in the bake shop all day long. Wedding cake, cake, and more cake.
And this was in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what high school did you go to?
Suffolk Tech.
So you was
And
just
there we had
so
commercial baking.
so you was prepared,
Yes, that's where I learned all of this from. They can't School can only teach you the basics.
right?
Everything else, depending on how deep into whatever you're doing, depending on that depends on what you want to do. So, like I said, when all of this came up, there was a change. And it was
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more, let's think what we gonna do here, what we gonna put here. It
Mm-hmm.
was more challenging. But school can only teach you the basic. Everything else I just learned on my own by practice.
So in other words, anybody that goes to school, that's all they're gonna get is the basics.
Right.
And the rest of it is just whatever you can create yourself
Exactly. You can
from
watch
what you learn in school.
videos.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You can watch videos. If you know somebody that's in that world, you can call, and you guys can converse and you can get a couple lessons that way as well. But for the foremost, school only teach you the basics. Everything else comes along the way.
So when did you start getting into the candy apple business? Because I mean, that seemed like the way you do it. I've never seen candy apples created like that ever.
Well, I did the candy apples about 6 years ago for the first time. Same thing with the cake. It wasn't challenging enough back when I did it. So I don't even know how I got back on the candy apples, but it
Mm-hmm.
was back in September like back in August sometime. It came this the thing with the apples had came about. So when I did the first set of apples, everybody wanted to know, do I do kid friendly? I don't have no children, so I don't have a reason to do kid friendly.
What's kid friendly? What that mean?
No alcohol, just it is what it is. There's no alcohol.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you got kid friendly, you got unkid friendly, or should I say adult? So when I started again, everything I did was geared towards grown people. Well, those same grown people came back asking me, do I do kid friendly? And at first, I'm like, I don't want to do. But then I just started doing it. A lot of the grown people stepped on in, and that's how I found out there was grown children out here. Because when I started the apples this time, a grown person called me, asked me would I make some, and I'm like, okay, sure, that's not a problem. And then I
Right.
posted it. And then I went to sleep about a couple days or so later with thoughts in my head,
Mm-hmm.
how I wanted to do something different. So I loaded them with candy. That took off. I
Wait,
wasn't sure at first.
you loaded you what you stuffed the apples with candy?
No, on the tops.
Oh, okay.
I did caramel and I did the glass. And after it got done, oh, I did chocolate too. So after it got done, I stood back and looked. And when I posted it on my Facebook, that was geared towards children. But when I did that same thing, a lot of grown people were calling me, asking me to make them for them.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talked to you like a few days or so ago, when I was sending you the stuff, one of my messages was I had to take a trip back in candy history, a trip back in time. I took that trip back in time because it was more basic. And
Right.
sometimes you got to go all the way back to the beginning to get a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the reds. Everybody was asking me about red. We just want red. We just want red. I said, okay, they're asking for reds. So I went not knowing what I was about to get into. I got the apples and I stepped in my candy time.
Mm-hmm.
I did the reds. And let's just say from that day, I really pretty much been in my kitchen just candy apples, where the apples is concerned.
Well, you have a cheesecake apple, don't you?
Yes.
Now, how did you? Because when I hear cheesecake and then apple, I'm thinking you took the best of both worlds and combined them. Is that what you did?
I sure did. I sat here. Like I said, I like different. And somebody sent me a picture.
Well, that's definitely different.
Well, the girl sent me the picture and I looked at it. I'm like, I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to get these two things to meet.
Mm-hmm.
It took me about a week or so after she sent me the picture. Then I went, I looked up some videos. I couldn't find none at first.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did. And it went from there. I put cheesecake, chocolate, and apples together. And I put, if it's strawberry, you might got strawberry wafers, cookies. You
Mm-hmm.
can either get strawberry jelly or not jelly, but syrup or cherry syrup on top. With the Scooter Crunch, I put that on the top as well. But that same thing, I wasn't sure if it was going to work because when you think about the two things, cheesecake, apples, they don't go together. They don't mix. Why are they together? They got
Oh,
together
I
and I
mean,
got good ratings on it.
it sounds good though. Cheese. I mean, if if you like cheesecake and you like apples, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like the best of both worlds right there.
It's like eating apple pie with like a chocolate drizzled on top of it with cheesecake on top of
Oh my god.
it. That's the only way I can
Oh,
explain it.
killing me. I know you viewers is out there wiping your mouth too. You drooling just like I am, boy. She making it. Ooh, you making that sound.
Yeah, them cheesecakes was
Woo.
the truth.
Now there's a cake that you was telling me about. It got liquor in it, or uh, the one you said Kurt might have tasted.
You talking about the whiskey cheesecake.
Yeah, whiskey cheesecake. Now that's I gotta hear this one because I know my viewers is like whiskey cheesecake.
Whiskey cheesecake,
Like that's
yes. Now, that one came from a party I gave, and I made cheesecake, whiskey cheesecake shots. Just a little jello shot cup. And
whiskey.
when I, whiskey cheesecake. And I had a lot of people say, no, 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 we're not going to eat this. We're not going to taste that. The whiskey
What?
cheesecake left first. Now, where the apples is concerned, to add the whiskey to the cheesecake, now we talking about good apple pie. That's the taste you get from that one.
Whiskey cheesecake.
Yes, whiskey cheesecake.
So now you said it's like a jello shot. So okay. So is it actual cake inside this little cup?
Say that one more
Or
time.
so okay. So you said whiskey cheesecake, right?
Yes.
So is it actual cake inside a little cup with with the liquor on top of the cake?
No, believe it or not, the two, the cheesecake and the whiskey,
Yeah.
are together.
You oh, so you made the cheesecake with liquor in it, kind of like a rum cake.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of liquor you use?
You can use bourbons, you can use some rums, but in this case, I don't think I want to tell y'all what I used, but just know it has cinnamon in it and it makes the two bang.
Well, we
But
wouldn't
no,
want you to reveal
Fireball,
your secrets.
you'll look at Fireball real different because you can use it for a lot of things. Like I don't drink it because it's that cinnamon. Like,
Right.
but believe it or not, it makes the two work.
Well, we definitely don't want you to reveal your secret now. You know, we don't want you to reveal your secret.
Yeah, because I might have to come and stock the church. Be looking at everybody like y'all gonna fry me chicken for the rest of my life.
Now, what about your? Now, what about your liquor candy? Because I've been telling a lot of people about that, and they've been wondering. They're curious, like liquor candy. Like, what is she? I'm like, look, from what I've seen, any kind of liquor you want, she'd turn it into candy. Is that true?
That is very true. The only one that can't be done is the 151. Proof is too high. I can
Well,
still
who
use
would want
it.
to drink that anyway? That's
You would be surprised. You really would be surprised. And then when I figured out the 151 couldn't be done,
right.
I still was able to do it. I make my candy and then I hit it with the 151. But see, here's the difference. A lot of people think it's infused. Infusion is if I go to the store and buy a bag of gummy bears.
Right.
I take my bottle of alcohol, pour it all in a bowl, and let it sit. That's infusion. I'm not infusing anything. The same way it come out the bottle is just what you taste in that little piece of candy.
Woo! Now see, I I told you, I knew. So the way it was because I was thinking that like when people say it's probably infused, and I'm like, well, but how the gummy bear would probably melt? I'm thinking that would either no, I don't see how that would
What
work.
happens is when you buy the gummy bears, actually, same thing from a party that I gave. The gummy bears I started making gummy shots with. I did just what I told you. I mixed it all in a bowl,
Uh-huh.
but the alcohol breaks the candy down. So what I did was I took and put it in shot cups
Right.
with whatever liquor was left down in the bowl. Put it up, make sure it gets all in there, and I let it sit overnight. And what happens is all the candy, the sugar, the alcohol, it binds and it takes the shape of the cup that it's in. So when you pull it out, you can bite a gummy shot. I started there, but then somebody called me and asked me could I make them some candy. They just wanted alcohol. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. How am I supposed to make this? What am I supposed to do? You just asked for alcohol. Okay. I ain't gonna get you a bottle. You pour it in a cup and drink it. But I sat here. It took me maybe about 2 weeks
Hmm.
because I sat here pondering on it. And I'm like, okay, I just start ordering stuff. I said the worst thing that can happen is this don't work.
Right.
Needless to say, when everything got here and I went to the liquor store, and I wasn't playing with no cheap bottle. I was playing with Hennessy. So there's not really too many rooms for mistake when your bottle costs that much. So I said, okay, got it all mixed up, poured all in my molds. A few hours later, I brought it out and put it on the table. So I demolded it. And I'm standing there looking at this little piece of candy like, this is what he wanted me to make. So I tasted it.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, that's
Hmm.
Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And that took off. I wound up going to Atlanta, Kentucky, and North Carolina back in August about the
Hmm.
gummy candy. I had to go meet a few people. Well, I was able to let go of a lot of it there. And they were wondering,
Hmm.
how is you? I will come and stalk the church. I can't tell you what I did. All I can tell you is that's magic. Even here, I let people taste the candy when they come,
Hmm.
and I get a kick out of it because I know what's about to happen. So I give them
Right.
two pieces, two, one, two. I say, here, taste this. They do what people do. Chew it, put it in your mouth and chew it because your brain is telling you this is a piece of candy. So
Right.
we're going to chew this. That's your first natural instinct. So after you chew it, I said, no.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
There we go. So I tell them, put it in your mouth and enjoy it. This is
Your
it.
volume went out.
I'm waiting on this ringing. I
Okay.
forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, but with the liquor candy, I let everybody taste it. You get two pieces. The first piece you're going to naturally chew, and then you're not going to taste it. You're going to miss the point. So I give you another piece and put it in your mouth and enjoy the flavor. Now, here's the kicker. I give you pop, I give you juice, whatever one you prefer.
Hmm.
After that, when you sip that after eating the candy, your brain thinks it had a drink. Even though you didn't, you think you had a drink. But you can eat them all day long. Well, everybody's tolerance is different, so I won't say that. But you can eat up to what you can tolerate.
So can
But if
you
you,
actually be inebriated from the candy?
oh, yes, you can. I make the candy, and every time I make the candy, by the time I get done, it's like I've been to the bar somewhere. Like my groove is on.
Wow.
So
I
and
saw you
and
did Moscato, so you can do champagne the same way that you would do liquor. So if somebody get like a bottle of Dom Perignon, and now when you all right, when you do different liquor candy like that, do the price is the price based off of the kind of liquor that you ask for, since the bottles are so expensive?
yes,
Because you gotta you gotta get your money back from that bottle as well as a profit.
Yes. Price changes depending on what I'm using. Like I said, I started with Hennessy, but everybody, the Hennessy doers, drinkers are particular. That's all they rather drink it. They don't want to eat it. But I was able to get some Henny drinkers to taste the candy because that's what I needed.
Right.
Let's just say it makes your bottle last longer. You're sitting at home, nothing to do. You want to have a drink, but you don't want to be drunk.
Right.
Grab you a few of them out the fridge, pop them, get you something to drink, and sit back and relax and wait for the rest to happen.
So how much liquor is actually in one piece of candy? Is it the equivalence of a single shot
It tastes like the equivalency of a shot.
of a single shot?
Hmm.
It's not bad.
No, it's not. And like I said, I let everybody taste it. Before I give it to them, I let them taste. And like I
Right.
said, your first instinct is to chew. But after you chew it, you're going to stand there and be like, well, what was the point? I didn't get it. Now you get your second one. Just put it in your mouth and enjoy it.
Okay.
And then they turn around and be like, woo, you can feel it way back here in the back. The taste is different. You get the point. You taste what's going on in the candy.
Right. So is there anything else that you create other than the cake and the liquor candy? I mean the apples and the liquor candy?
Oh, there's a lot of things. I mean, I bake, but right now,
What about
because it's,
what about gummy worms? Like, would you be able to, instead of gummy bears, would you be able to do the same thing with like any other kind of gummies, or is it
yes.
just bears that you
Mm-mm.
do?
I do a lot of different shapes.
So you can do gummy worms and with
Hmm.
liquor.
Hmm.
Ooh, that would probably be good with tequila.
Whatever you can think of can be done.
Now, okay, say somebody's in California or New York, because you're in Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're in Pittsburgh. So somebody outside Pittsburgh, in another state, how would they be able to contact you to order some liquor candy or the apples?
They would just need to inbox me.
Okay, well, if you could, for our viewers, can you give them the information they need to and tell them how to inbox you and get in touch with you for the apples or the liquor candy?
Anita Brower on Facebook, A Brower 412 on Instagram.
Okay, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Y'all got to get in there and get this candy, get these apples. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get mine. Y'all better get y'all's. You know what I mean? And if you like so far what you're hearing in this interview by Ms Anita Brower, then look down at the bottom of this page. Make sure you click the like and the subscribe button, and also make sure you ring that bell to get your notifications. Okay. Again, this is Miss Anita Brower, dominant candy apple queen. Y'all not understanding. Get out there and get yours. I know everybody in Pittsburgh got to be loving you right now because, whew,
Listen,
it's safer than
my
going to the
inbox be
bars.
busy.
it's
It's, you know what? What it does is, let's say you had a cookout, okay?
huh.
You always serve the same thing:
That's true.
punch, whatever's in the bottle. You got your cases of beer, what have you not. Now, because the candy is what it is, it needs to stay cold. Okay, so now
Oh,
you're going in the refrigerator and you pull out this bowl with all this candy in it. Okay, whatever you want to serve it in,
Should it be
they're gonna look
frozen
at
or
you.
should it be just
You
cold?
you can put them in the freezer. You can put them in the refrigerator. However you want to serve them. But you take them, walk around to your guests or whatever. You might have shot cups. It just depends on what you want to serve it in. Give them a few in there and let them go. You're giving your guests another way to enjoy what they're already doing.
Instead of the same old routine.
Yep. I did a party with explicit pieces, and that's all I can tell y'all about that. Y'all know what explicit is.
Uh-huh.
And I made suckers. I myself did not think that was going to work, but it did because of where it was going and what they were doing. So when the person asked me, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Not for what was coming next. I ordered the molds that I needed and I made the candy. But like I said, I made them into suckers. And when I took them to deliver them to her and she
Mm-hmm.
looked at them, she couldn't believe it herself. Only thing I didn't do was go to the party because I wanted to see how people was doing. That's the only part I had missed was the party because I myself, with my own two eyes, wanted to see how they were going to eat these particular pieces.
Right.
Listen here. It's a fun piece of candy. Put it that way. It's very fun and a lot can be done with it. And if you leave it out too long and it do happen to melt on you, you put it back in the fridge.
uh,
You might have to slice it into any shape you want and still
oh,
serve.
okay. Okay. Now let's slide back one to go back to um the ordering process for now. How would you ship that to people?
Freeze it, ice pack it, and ship it. Priority mail or overnight.
Or because it has to be that 1 day delivery, right?
I prefer that, but again, unless you got quite a few people ordering from one city, state, wherever they're at, the overnight shipping is costly. And with that being said, if there is a couple people that can get chip in on a box, it'll make a
Uh-huh.
difference between everybody what the shipping will cost.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
that's how I do that one.
you guys heard it. She can ship it to you. 1 day shipping. Now that means they have to pay for the shipping cost, right?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, because that can get expensive. The
yes.
shipping cost, especially when you're packing something in ice. Okay. Okay.
And then
Well,
it depending on where it's going, dry ice, it lasts a little while. But I just like the overnight period because I wanted to get to where it's going the same way it leaves my table.
right, right.
I had a problem with the priority mail. I'm paying for 2 and 3 day shipping because that's about how long it can stay in a box.
Okay.
And my stuff is still sitting on the postal truck. I'm paying y'all for 2 and 3 days, and my customers is not getting their stuff for 3, 4, and 5 days.
Well, it done
So I had
melt.
stopped shipping for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And when all this stuff broke out with the pandemic, I just stopped shipping. I
Right.
only just picked up shipping again just in February.
Well, y'all hear it. Y'all heard it from Miss Anita Brower. 1 day shipping. Anything more than that, it's it's no good. You need 1 day shipping. So be prepared to pay for that. You know, you
I
get
got a
what you
girlfriend
pay
in
for.
Seattle.
You get what you pay for. Okay, you get what you pay for. If you're acting too cheap to pay for the 1 day service, then why even order it? because it's going to get to you and it's not going to be fresh the way she made it, and then you're going to want to complain. So people, you have to understand this is a terrific small black business who has delicious product. Delicious product. Okay. Well, Ms Anita Brower, we are at our time. Um, but if you could just one more time give the people uh, your social media pages, your information, so they can order from you again.
You can Facebook me at Anita.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
And
You're it's cutting in and out on you. Your microphone's cutting in and out.
can you hear me now?
Uh huh.
Okay. You can contact me at Anita Brower on Facebook or A Brower 412 on Instagram.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Thank you for tuning in to Blackout TV. We would also like to thank Miss Anita Brower for her time. Thank you for allowing us to interview you here at Blackout TV. And we would like to tell everybody out there, look down at the bottom of the page, hit your like button, hit your subscribe button. Also, ring the bell for notifications. Wear your mask. It's best to stay 6 feet apart than to be 6 feet deep. All right? That's it from Blackout TV. Miss Anita, we love you. Peace.
Thank you.